Oh, yeah, we're live. We're back with the GainzCast once again. What a newsworthy week. It's been crazy, but every week's newsworthy because the world's gone completely fucking insane more than ever. And people are just stupid and people are scared and companies are woke and fucking just fucking detestably. What is? I'm hearing feedback, man. Is that on yours?
No, I'm not hearing it at all.
What is going on? Okay, I for some reason, okay, there, I got it. I was hearing on my computer. It was weird, but what's really fucked up is the Netflix guy. He came out and he's like, dude, we're putting up comedy because stand-up comedy's fucking awesome. And then they're like, we're walking out. And then he's like, oh, never mind. Like, we hate Dave Chappelle too, because he's obviously a racist, transphobic black man. So fuck it. We're going to cancel him. And they're probably going to take the show down, man. But that's what's going on this week. How you been, Alan?
I've been outstanding. The fucked up thing is I was so about to re-get Netflix because like maybe they were redeeming themselves. By the way, excuse me, everybody. I fucking have some heat rash from fucking working out in the heat. But
I could have it was some kind of STD, but I know you're in a monopoly.
No.
You can't even. No one would have noticed it, dude.
I notice it, and you know how ADHD works. If I notice something and I don't fucking address it, I can't fucking do it. Dude, I got this thing with my clients.
Was it Michael Rappaport who had the herpes on his lip the whole time? He's going off about Trump, and all you see is that herpes coming out, just talking.
Yeah, to you. Crazy shit. What a weird fucking couple of years it's been. No shit, but what we were saying, I was just about to do Netflix again because I thought like, well, at least if they believe in free speech, because I canceled Netflix with cuties because fuck that shit. But then, like, if it's just free speech, if they're like, look, we'll let fucking Chappelle go off, and he didn't even go off. He said a few fucking jokes, you know, and I don't get it.
I'm trying to think of the guys. Remember the shit Chris Rock used to say? Like, he made fun of beating women.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave Chappelle, too. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock. I'm trying to think of him. Rourke, I can't think of the name. He was like the original Chris Rock, old white guy. And remember, before the Jeffersons, All in the Family, like that was racist as fuck, but it was funny. Because I'm sorry, where I'm from, racism is funny as fuck. Like I played on a football team. All my friends and all the people I rolled with were not white. They were Mexican or black. And they used to roast the fuck on me. What's up, Wedo? What's up, white boy? What's up, gringo? And I'm like, hey, shouldn't you be selling oranges? And it was funny. And by the way, do Mexicans still sell oranges in LA? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I've never been to LA. I don't plan on going to that fucking shithole either, but I can tell you this. There's a lot of shrimp stands on the fucking side of the road down here that they sell them at. They sell oranges and shit at. So.
Well, the thing is, like, when I was a kid, like, Mexicans would sell oranges, and we'd be like, hey, that's your mom selling oranges. And it was funny, and no one fought. It's like, hey, you're Jewish. Oh, that's funny. Haha. Now, Dave Chappelle. But the thing is, he wasn't like, obviously it's comedy. He was rude, but he also talked about literally an old man giving him head. Like, it was a disgust. It's comedy, it's art, and the man's an artist. And I'm watching this like, if you're offended by this, that's your problem, not his. Mm-hmm. It's comedy, and I come from a time when comedy was just art, and if it offended you, it's like, oh my God, it was good. It's like, I remember they used to Def Comedy Jam. Remember that shit on HBO? Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
They used to say so much racist jokes. So many racist jokes.
There's a show on MTV called Your Mama.
Yeah.
Like for Your Mama jokes. If Bill Cosby can still be okay for people after all that shit, after everything, like he's still like somewhat like seen as like in the like acceptable, palatable. He has an entire routine. People don't know this. It's called Spanish Fly. You can look this up. It's about drugging women and sleeping with them.
That's crazy. But the thing is, it seems like people are more okay with pedophilia than they are with racist humor. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to stop telling depreciating Jewish jokes. It's not going to happen. You know what's funny? I found out I broke my nose. And I did. I don't know when I broke it, what sparring, what match. Katie thinks it was actually during the Rumble. I don't even remember getting hit in the nose. My nose is so big, I didn't even know I broke it. It was just like another map of topography on my big ass fucking Jewish nose. I couldn't even fucking tell. And the thing is, you look at what Dave Chappelle says. He makes fun of black people, and he's black. Like, he says the N-word more times than he says the word the. It's crazy.
he uses the N-word more than I use the word fuck, and that's impressive. It's just impressive. What I don't understand is, like, where's Black Lives Matter? Like, they're trying to take away this man's livelihood. Yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to take away this black man's livelihood. Like, I don't fucking get it.
Well, I think we all know that Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with Black Lives. It's a Democratic fundraising arm. Just like Antifa at this point. I don't believe any of them, all of those guys, come on, dude. Like, who the hell would go out in cold ass, rainy ass Seattle in the winter, fucking risk getting their ass fucking handed to them? They're getting paid, dude. Somebody's paying these guys. They're not doing it because they believe in ending fascism, even though they support fascism because they're pro-vaccine. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, man, these are paid fucking activists because there's not many of them. It's like, how can they afford all those people? Like, it's only like 50 dudes. Like, they're not rolling deep. This ain't the Million Man March. Like, these are a bunch of fucking skinny fucking little bitches that roll in packs, dude. Look, dude, a pack of 10 coyotes can fuck up a fucking pit bull. But you know what? 2 coyotes will get fucked up. 10's a lot. You put 10 people in a group. Dude, when I was a kid, and I talked about my childhood before, when I was a kid and I was rolling with the fucking crew, like, dude, you give us 5 or 6 people and that's a fucking game. Like, you're getting your ass fucking beat. So it's just simple. You don't need hundreds, 200, 300. You don't need 1,000. You need 10 to 20 people to cause a fucking riot. That's it. You don't need much. Like, even the LA riots, it looked immense. But dude, have you ever gone to a concert? There's not 60,000 fucking people. There's like 100. There's maybe 40. It's 40 people getting paid by Soros and those guys. And that's all it is. But back to Dave Chappelle. This motherfucker's an artist and he's making fun of black. He's black. Like, we've got to the point where black people can't even not be racist against black people anymore if they tell jokes. Like, what the fuck? And people are, and it's all white liberals. Like, black people aren't like, man, I'm so offended by Dave Chappelle saying the N-word. It's white liberals. White liberals are causing all these problems. So I say we get rid of the white liberals right now.
Absolutely. Fucking absolutely. And the funny thing is, nobody would consider you and I, when they meet us, to be like super conservative people. Like, I mean, like, I'm not. I'm an independent. But what the fuck, man? Like, when you can't even joke about things, like, I have said this before. Changing what people are allowed to talk about does not change the way people think about those things. Like, at all. Like, if anything, it just emboldens them more. It ingrains it more. So I'm not allowed to say word A, B, C, D. Like, me and you embrace it. Like, call me fat phobic, call me racist, call me whatever the fuck you want. Like, I call myself, I'm a Florida fucking cracker now. Like, I it's weird. Like, somebody calling me a cracker. Like, Florida. Well, yeah, somebody calls me a cracker and they're supposedly racist. Like, the word cracker is racist, but I refer to myself as a cracker and I'm a racist because apparently, like, people think that it came from cracking a whip. Meanwhile, it's denoted to, like, be like the average / poor, like, Georgia, Florida man or Florida person, a cracker. You know, like, I don't get it. Like, say the words, motherfuckers. Because here's the thing. This is something I learned from living both in the South and the North. People are racist everywhere, right? They're racist everywhere. I just prefer Southern racists because they say the words and then you know they're racist. Like, they're not faking this shit, you know?
Yeah, I despise all racism. I despise all segregation. I despise all. I mean, it's all about pigment and where you live. It's bullshit. And I never understood it. I can't empathize with it. That's why people go, you're a racist because you voted for Trump. No, I just don't like old people who touch little kids. Call me crazy, but I don't like fucking senile pedophiles. That might be nuts. Now, Trump, granted, that dude's not he's a bad person. Like, the dude's, he's not a good person. I think I'm not arguing. Well, Trump's this. Yeah. I mean, just get 2 wrongs don't make a right. And my guy being bad doesn't mean your guy's not bad. It just means my guy, in my opinion, is slightly less bad than you guy. But I understand, like, I took up for The Rock the other day, not just because he wore an Eidernack shirt, which, by the way, I think that might have made me a bit biased. But, dude, here's the thing. Like, dude, I was on Twitter saying, dude, like, it's not that bad. Trump wasn't that good. Biden, just give him a chance. I was wrong. I was fucking wrong. But I lost a lot of followers in that. But, you know, as an American, I like to have optimism. I like to give my president, I wish liberals did the same thing. I like to give my president benefit of the doubt. It wasn't until Biden started trampling all over the Constitution and people's rights that I'm like, okay, it's time for this guy to go nighty-night. Like, this guy's horrible. Go back to the nursing home where you came from.
Well, I think it just shows that the last 5 years have shown me that we need a national divorce. We absolutely do. If we can't even stomach the president, like, I mean, like, it used to be like, okay, I voted against this person, but I wish the president the best. Let's fucking get it going, right? Now it's like, not my president, not my president, not my president. I will say this, like, if I say not my president right now, it's because he's ignoring the Constitution of the United States. That's what I'm fucking saying. But if before, like, Biden's the fucking president. He's supposedly elected. Until that gets overturned, we need to deal with it. What I'm saying is, maybe it's time for us not to be the United States. Like, maybe it's time for something different.
Well, I mean, there'll be treaties and like, think about it like the former USSR, right? Like, like, you know, you have the USSR broke up into many nations. And I think, but, you know, you have treaties, like we have allies. And so you have to share a federal military. You have to share national defense. But at this point, it's irreparable. I have nothing in common with people who are on their side. And that does say, but it's like, would you turn down their business? That doesn't mean we can't do business with them. I do business with Pakistan. I do business with Ecuador. I do business with China. Like, that doesn't mean we can't exchange goods and services. That means that, you know what, when I cross your border, those are different laws. When you cross my border, those are different laws. Unfortunately for me, it means giving up freedom. For you, it means you get to be free. So your life sucks. But if you want your life to be ruled by tyrannical, you know, people who don't believe in the U.S. Constitution, then that's on you. But I do believe that if you are, I'm not even saying like I'm not a conservative, I'm not a Republican, but I like freedom and I like not being told what the fuck to do, and I like having personal responsibility. So I'll be goddamn if I'm gonna move to a state that doesn't share the values I do. So if you are like me, and even if you're not a Republican, you're not a conservative, you're just a guy who likes freedom, get the fuck out of blue states. Get out.
Oh my God. Well, his Biden's approval rating is something like 29% amongst independents. Like, and I'm like, how the fuck is it that high? I don't get it, because I'm a constitutionalist. That's how I've always viewed myself. I want free speech. I want to be able to say what the fuck I want. I don't want to be censored by anybody. And you know what? If you want to sue me for it, that's a different story. But fucking let me say what the fuck I want. We can argue it out in court. I have no problem with that. But reality of it is, I want my guns, because the Constitution says shall not be infringed. I want to be able to go freely where the fuck I want to. And I want my privacy. Like, have you seen this thing, dude, where they're trying to pass that anybody with like any transaction above $600, they get access to your bank account and shit like that?
Which is, I mean, there's a right to privacy, and that just makes me want to not use banks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just put my shit in I have a well-armed house. If you get in here and you pass me my guns and my security and my cameras, you've earned it. You've earned it.
All this is going to do is force American business owners, like, everybody take a trip to a country to start a bank in Cayman. You know, like, I mean, like, what the fuck? I'm starting an account in Cayman. All that's going to do is push money out of the fucking out of the country. That's all it does. Who wants that shit? Like, so if you know, say you and the wife fucking decide to have a freaky weekend at some sort of fucking nice ass freaky ass resort, like, the government gets to know. Like, they spent $700 on a sex swing this week. Fuck you, motherfuckers. That's my fucking business, you know?
Those have gone up in price.
$725 for the good ones.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah. Well, because you have to have like the ceiling mounts.
Oh, yeah, what would be fun? I can't, I just had bike hooks and cabinets installed. I can't install anything. So I'd literally call my guy, Matt, who does all like our fix up stuff. Mm-hmm. He's Matt Knudsen. He's amazing. So I would be like, hey, Matt, I need you to hang a swing in the room. He's like, what kind of swing? But he's the kind of guy to be like, oh, okay, where'd you get that?
yeah. I mean, there's the door mounted ones also, but they're not as good. Like,
oh goodness, you know, I'm just gonna stick to missionary. My idea of kink at this point in my life is hooking a leg during missionary. You know, it's like depending on the day. You know, well, now that I'm watching wrestling, I'm learning new wrestling moves. Like, so I mean, I'm gonna have to incorporate those. You got pinned. You know, it's crazy. But I know this is a horrible segue. But hey, my son won his first wrestling match, by the way.
I knew you were gonna segue too. That's why I was shaking my head. I was like, here it comes.
Man, he's 13 years old. Kid's a teenager. Hey, if we were doing the whole Jewish thing, he'd have his bar mitzvah. And I guess you get strippers for a bar mitzvah. I don't know, I never had one, but I'd assume strippers are involved. And he had his first wrestling match. You guys didn't see it on Twitter or Instagram, or basically, if you're not on my text list, because I texted everybody, my son pinned his first opponent in less than a minute. And
it was dominance.
It was complete. I mean, I almost felt bad for the other kid, but I was too busy celebrating and gloating about my kid. The other parents are lucky I didn't go up and dunk on them, but it was one of those moments. But yeah, I'm just looking at the world we're leaving our kids, right? And I feel that, and this is one reason why we got this podcast. We're going to be working on it. You know, we're going to be growing, investing, and getting people on here. But right now, it's just about I was listening to actually, and you know, he's a bit over the top sometimes, a bit like weird, like skater guy, like Tim Pool. I'm listening, like he's like, we need to build culture. You know, we need to get this word out there because at the end of the day, man, the media hates us, the Supreme Court hates us, and fuck the Supreme Court because it's going to come down where the states are going to be like, well, fuck you. They're just not listening to the Supreme Court, and we're at that point. So we need to build, like Tim says, culture. We need to get the word out there, and we are not going to get publicity on CNN. We're not going to, unless it's Pierce Morgan starting a fight with me saying I'm on steroids with his triple chin. We're not going to be getting any looks, even though what we're saying will save lives. Like I got a message the other day, you know, from a guy who's, you know, they've been his wife works in a Mexican beer unit in the hospital, and she got a little bit of the beer and she recovered in like a day, just taking stuff that we recommend, which isn't saying it treats, prevents, or cures anything, but it gets you in a healthy state where you're able to fight things off naturally. And we need to get out there to save lives. Because look, they're trying to kill you. Alan, did you not see yesterday on Jack Murphy? You said this to me, but that absurd food guide that Nature is promoting, watermelon is the greatest food in the world.
The fucked up thing about that whole graphic, and I wish we could show it here, but that whole graphic, the fucked up thing is it places soda, like sugar enriched soda, over ground meat. Like how does that work? Like, so something with no nutritional value, like soda has no nutritional value whatsoever,
other than immediate energy from the glucose. But here's the thing: like I have perfect blood work. I dunk on kids half my age. Nobody can hang with me in the gym. I'm competing against people. I just won a show against people half my age. And, you know, I'll tell you what, my 90% of my diet right now is sweet potatoes and ground beef. And it's the good shit. You know, I buy either the Wagyu beef or bison. Wagyu is it's just so good. But here's the thing. And this is a good segue as well. After we're done with this, we'll talk about it. But what I learned, like the carnivore diet has its minuses. One, it's extremely restrictive, and two, it's extremely restrictive. But what we learned is that these people aren't dying, and they're getting a lot, and they look great. Sure, their blood levels are off, but it doesn't appear to be hindering them. And I don't know about you, but I'm in a lot of, and I lurk because you and I want to know more. Like I lurk in a lot of these carnivore groups on Facebook, and I don't post anything, but I'll lurk. And what I noticed, none of these guys got a serious bout of the Mexican beer virus. You know, one carnivore guy, and there's thousands of them, get anything, and they don't take vitamin C. Do they have no vitamin C in their diet?
The one thing I can say about this too is that like it is very clearly like the food pyramid, the food pyramid, and the new food chart that they're trying to make palatable instead of the food pyramid, because it looks to me like they caught on to people were pissed about the food pyramid. So now they're going to have this new conversion chart or whatever the fuck it is, you know? Yeah. But the keto and carnivore are also used as treatments they came about as treatments for like epilepsy and shit like that. Like many doctors tell you to go on keto if you have cancer because it basically starves the cancer.
Yeah,
you know, like
cancer feeds off, it can feed off other things. But Dr. Dom, I believe he's at Central Florida, if not Southern Florida. Well, one of the Floridas. But Dom, he has done tremendous work on cancer, and he's done tremendous work on ketogenic diets with cancer, and the use of branched chain amino acids to augment that. So I am, you know, extremely, extremely interested in the health benefits of keto and carnivore. And I think a lot of things with carnivore is you're cutting out basically allergenic foods. So you're giving your body a chance to de-inflame. Like, so the thing is, a lot of vegetables, a lot of carbs, a lot of like gluten, for example. I believe in celiac, and you can eat it. I don't believe in gluten intolerance. The bottom line is some people have a harder time because it's basically 2 indigestible amino acids. a lot of people, if they eat too much, see, some people will be like, man, I'm gluten intolerant. You ate a loaf of bread. If you ate 2 pieces of bread, it's in my opinion, it's dose dependent. But the bottom line is, I think that with carnivore, we found that, okay, it might not be the greatest because of its exclusionary and its lacking of certain vitamins that I think are pertinent to health. But what it showed us is that meat should be and protein should be the cornerstone of every diet, and you should build your diet around protein. Yep,
absolutely. I mean, to go and like when you see these people talk about how meat is evil and this and that, I get it. Like, I understand you don't want Bambi to die. I understand, but there is this thing called fucking nature. You know, like, I mean, and people just too much. We've looked past the natural way. Like, I don't know of any species who can ingest and digest and absorb the nutrients of meat that prospers by not. And I truly believe that what you were hitting on earlier is intolerant foods and inflammatory foods. There are more people that are allergic to nightshades, the family of plants called nightshades, and they possibly know. That's why when people run what they call the elimination diet, one of the big things is they get rid of nightshades from their diet, and then when they reintroduce them, they can see it, but it's in so much shit. The biggest issues with keto and carnivore is people say that it is not sustainable, and I agree in the current context of like the people I coach, because most of them have literally lived off carbohydrate-based food for fucking most of their lives. You know, we're at a stage now where my coaching involves people that have never been healthy. Like, I had one client who recently just got under 250 pounds, and of course, like, when they came, they were like 350, 365 or something like that. And they just got under 250 pounds. And I asked them when the last time they've been under 250 pounds. And they literally said they could not remember. It was well before they were 10 years old.
Wow.
Like, you know, like, but we get a lot of people like that. That's why when me and you started talking about it, I was like, we are at a stage now where people need to completely combat the hunger around these things. Like, society is not capable of just the withdrawal of these foods because they're so addicted to them. For a lot of people, sugar has been a mainstay staple drug basically for the entirety of their lives. Like, you know who did not like grow up like poor people. Like, my family was decently poor when I was early. Like, I lived off pork chops and sauerkraut. Like, it had to be, and bologna for like had to be fucking months at a time, right? But sugar became a thing only like when I got into my teens, you know, and stuff like that, you know, and then it was like this cheap ass super sweet cereal, you know. But for like really poor folk, oftentimes it's either a lot of sugar or very basic necessity, and they get addicted to this shit, and it's very hard to get them off of it, and that's why it's not sustainable, because then it's everywhere. So imagine if you're a heroin addict and you're trying to stay away from heroin, but they put heroin in damn near everything you consume. You know?
That brings me up to a really important question. What's your favorite cereal of all time?
My favorite cereal of all time, like just flavor-wise, is Honey Nut Cheerios.
I'm a Waffle Crisp guy, man. It tears up the roof of your mouth, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, Honey Nut Cheerios for something, and I still have them occasionally. You know, like, because I'm a big I mean, they're in my cupboard right now. They're gluten-free and they're in my cupboard and blah blah blah. But I still have, because I'm not like, that's you. Well, you know how I am, and you're the same way. It's not like I'm not going to enjoy life. I just don't view that as food. I view it as like it's an indulgence, you know. Well,
I had to block somebody on Twitter because I put a picture of my kid eating ice cream after winning a game. He's like, "How dare you feed your kid ice cream?" And my kid eats bullshit. They're fucking kids. I mean, 90% of their diet's awesome, but I'm not gonna raise my kids without ice cream. That's bullshit.
I mean, it's when he wins something, you take them for something if they want it. It's not like,
congratulations, here's a fucking carrot.
Yeah, I mean, like I always talk about people about holidays too. I used to be one of the people when I first started weight loss. Like, if you're serious about it, you'll make sure you have your food controlled. You know what? What causes a lot of stress on people at the holidays is when they're trying to diet, is being on the diet. Like, for real. Like, we coach people how to make sure that they can at least enjoy a little bit of their mama's cooking. Like, nothing is more fucking stressful than you telling your mama you're not going to fucking eat a piece of the pie she fucking baked you or made you or fucking whatever like that. You want to start a fucking family argument? Like, that's a big fucking thing. Like, fill up on the proteins, then go to the low starch carbs, then enjoy yourself. It's a fucking holiday. If you watch yourself,
start with the leg. Just fucking, I'll just eat that.
Yeah.
Shit. Just fucking drumstick and just fucking go to town. I always start with the protein. By that time, I'm like, all right, I'll have some. And you know, the thing is, like, we don't do this year. I'm actually 2 weeks out for Thanksgiving, but we actually don't do normal Thanksgiving dinner. We go to Buca di Beppo and we eat pizza and Italian food because I'm a bodybuilder. I eat sweet potatoes and turkey every fucking day. If I have to eat white, it's like, wow, I get white meat. It's like, oh, fuck that shit. Let's go get the marsala from fucking Buca and the fucking tiramisu. Now that's how we roll. We've been doing that every year, man. Every year, because a lot of times we used to have to go to Tiger HQ and do shipping for Black Friday.
Right.
And now I'm much too good for that. No, I'm just playing. I'd just rather stay home. Actually, we work on I'm usually making sure the site doesn't crash because we had it crash 3 years in a row for a while. But you know, my whole thing is for us, it's celebration. It's enjoying each other, and food is always going to be social. The thing is, that doesn't mean you need a social event every fucking day.
No, that's the problem. It's what you do in between the events. But we're like, I always get to how we evolved. We're a species that evolved to feast and famine. You know, like so feast when you're supposed to. It's good. It's socialization. That's another thing too. They're trying to kill socialization with all this bullshit too. You know, like fucking Fauci saying like, well, if you're not Mexican beer hangover cured, you can't celebrate fucking Thanksgiving. Fucking
can juggle my balls on his fucking chin. Fuck that guy. I've never wanted someone to get out of Earth because I can't say the D word because I really do want him D. I don't want him. He does not deserve to share the same fucking planet as me. Fuck that guy. He's as bad as Hitler. He's killed more people than Hitler, to be honest with you. Fuck that guy. But I'm not going to say I wish him blank because then I might get banned and this channel will only have lasted 2 episodes, which is honestly 2 more than I expected.
No shit. I was waiting for you to message me like they took it down.
So here's the thing. In your world, like, so your Nature magazine, you're doing a list of the perfect foods. What are your top 3 foods?
But if they're my top 3 foods, it's going to be red meat, ground beef probably. Because ground beef also does have a good mix. From there, salmon, fish, and then normally either poultry and or some sort of heavily dense legume.
You know? That's pretty awesome with all protein. I'm gonna actually, for me, I'm gonna do a different list. I'm gonna do for athletes. So I'm gonna do nutrient density, including micro and macro. And I'm going to do one superfood that nobody likes to eat because that's going to be fun. I'm going to go same with you, ground beef, preferably 85% because you want that healthy fat. Grass fed if you can afford it. If you can't, fuck it, close enough. Then I'm going to go with the almighty sweet potato.
Yeah.
Nutrient density, baby. And the color hue gives you all those nutrients. And the third one will be beef liver.
I like it too.
That's mine. Notice that we didn't include watermelon in there, and that's not because we're racist.
Oh damn! Woo!
That one. Hey, by the way, my first best-selling product in the industry was watermelon flavored Extend. That was what put us on the map. And a funny story, ADHD time. ADHD story hour. Can you tell I've drank like 4 bangs today? Props to Snowwalk for making an addictive caffeine supplement. I also have kinetic in here, so I'm stacking. I'm fucking on fire, bro. My daughter has a regional game tonight, a sectional game tonight. So I'm kind of on edge. But so when we had we first started Scivation, we couldn't afford a real booth, so we had this little shitty booth at the Arnold, and we sponsored a guy named Quincy Taylor, who was a 350-pound, 6'3" black bodybuilder. Yeah. At the time, he was a top 10 guy. We got him in the Olympia. Chuck Rudolph, who actually was at my house last week, he coached him. He was our director of R&D. And so Quincy steps out in front of a group of like 5 black dudes, 5 big, and Quincy, these are big black dudes, but Quincy's the biggest black dude. Quincy goes, hey, y'all are black. You got to buy this. And he held up the watermelon extend. And I shit you not, they all bought it. And I'm like, dude, I wish I can have that sales pitch.
Yeah.
Like, I was never going to do that. Those black guys would have beat the shit out of me.
Like, it's amazing, though, how, like, racism's good for one and not for the other.
Well,
like,
I mean, it was funny.
But like, my thing is, like, are stereotypes not true to a certain degree? Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of Italian stereotypes growing up, just because they're true as fuck. You know, like, they're all true as fuck. Like, I used to get people, like, I had a friend that would get pissed off when somebody called him a Goomba. And I'm like, relax, bitch. Like, you've been over here, like, your family's been over here longer than my family.
What about fucking Cuomo when they called him Fredo?
Oh.
I wish that guy would. I wish he would have done that. I'll call him Fredo. I really want to fight Chris Cuomo. I would give almost anything to be able to just knock that guy out. I want to fight Chris Cuomo so bad. There's nobody on earth I want to fight more than Chris Cuomo.
I think both the Cuomo brothers are literally like what would be considered the atypical, deep down rhino Republicans who are total corporate sellouts, who don't believe in rights for other people, who are racist as fuck. Like, they come across to me as feeling that their air of superiority, like, you just want to slap it right the fuck off them.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Not me either. We might as well segue into Rachelle Levine about that, just to offend more people, because it's neighboring states and they did similar shit.
Oh man, Rachelle Levine. So I'm not going to get involved in the whole like it's a he. I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care what she identifies as. I don't care. In fact, you know, I'm down. I'm down with being like, okay, cool. You're a female. I don't care. What I care about, there's 2 things that piss me off about her getting some fucking knighthood or whatever they did, made her a 4-star general, even though she can't even fucking pass a physical fitness test for the goddamn army. The fact of the matter is, number 1, she killed millions of people, at least thousands of people purposely, while putting her own mom out of the homes. She literally, we can directly prove that she did it maliciously because of that action. Number 2, she's fat as fuck and has like 5 chins. You can't have your director of health be fat as fuck. I'm sorry. You just can't fucking do it. Like, I can't be the director of drug testing because hey, dude, you know what? Actually, I think I could, and here's why. You know,
you'd understand what the fuck's going on.
I know how they're cheating tests. You know, the FBI has like hackers who break the law and they hire them. That'd be me. I'm like, motherfucker, you're on steroids.
That would be exactly. Come on, dude. Like, we know. Bro. You know, the thing about Miss Levine, you know, because I don't care either. Like, my thing about the transgender thing is this: if you make me guess and I guess wrong, that's a you problem. That's not me. Like, if you make it so it's like iffy and I guess wrong, I'm not going to be upset if you get pissed, because, like, you know, and I also grew up at a time where I had no problem with drag. Like, there's a fucking drag bar right down the goddamn road. Like, I mean, like, it's connected to our country bar down here.
I ain't gonna lie, like, that's an attractive female impersonator.
You know, like,
drag queens are sexy. I'm not saying I want to have sex with them, but they're sexy. They're sexy. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad.
No, me either at all. Like, they put on fabulous shows. They're fun. Like, I mean,
I've been to burlesque. It's amazing.
Awesome. I mean, totally down to go at any fucking time. I really am. But if you make me guess, like, if you look like a dude and you just because you got long hair and I call you dude and you get pissy, that's a you problem. But so that's my only thing about that. Right? That and like the they them. I saw someone using demon. They're like, my demon pronouns are them. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, that's like, I mean, you can't be plural when you're singular. Like,
exactly,
it makes no sense. Like, they is plural. You can, unless you're like, honestly, Rachelle Levine's fat enough. She could be they.
It could be multiple people.
Bigger than one person, like her backside and her front side. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, man, I'm not mad at her for being fat. I don't care about her for being fat and being the health director. That's
the biggest issue that I'm finding is, like, coming from healthcare, and especially with, like, focus on long-term elderly care. what she did before 2020 would have been considered illegal.
It is illegal. It still is.
Yeah. So for people to understand what we're talking about, like Rachelle Levine was the health director for Pennsylvania or something like that. And when the fucking Mexican beer flu came out, she removed her mother from a nursing home, put her in a hotel, but then ordered hospitals to be able to put patients back into nursing homes that were COVID positive. Excuse me, the Mexican beer flu positive. We're probably fucking kicked off now. But
too late.
So they mandated that they had to take them back, that they couldn't refuse them, right? So before 2020, just so everybody knows, if I was the administrator of a nursing home in New York, and I did that, like knowing that the person had a deadly pathogen to my populace. So if the person has norovirus, like if you know the person tests positive for norovirus, which for a lot of people happens every year, gets a lot of people sick, but a lot of people don't understand, it wipes out a lot of elderly population every year in nursing homes, right? So if I would have admitted somebody back in to a nursing home that was positive for norovirus and then people died, I'm going to jail. Like, I mean, it's not even a lose your job thing because you're a licensed administrator. You're going to fucking jail. Like if your admissions person, you could be on vacation and your admissions person does it and somebody dies, you're going to jail. So we made something that was illegal, forcible, and people died by the fucking thousands.
Yeah, we're killing people. Because we don't wear masks. And they're literally murdering people. And it's crazy because what are the Republicans doing? Like, I can't be a Republican. Like, all they do is tweet like, that's so bad. Do something.
Do something.
Do something. Stand up in front of the House and don't sit down. Let them arrest you for being in contempt.
Yeah, the official GOP, Twitter feed. I'm not going to stop fucking trolling those motherfuckers until they block me. Like, because they're like always like the Democrats are doing this. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Where the fuck have you been for 5 fucking years? I mean, you don't do shit. You don't do anything. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I understand that like so many people believe that they have to be one side or the other. Like, you have to be Democrat, you have to be Republican, and I'll vote Republican. There's no fucking way I'm voting Democrat for a long time. But motherfuckers, if you guys want the GOP to survive, you better morph it into something else. Because first of all, what it was is dead. And I'm not saying that's not a bad thing because you guys are a bunch of oil tycoon motherfuckers. But what I am saying is we need a freedom party. Like, we need a party to represent the fucking people. We, the people, need to fucking rise the fuck up. You know? I
say it all the time to our local rep out here. I forgot her name, our senator out here. She's actually one of the good ones. But she's like, oh my God, Biden's doing this. I'm like, you're in the Senate. Like, you're a senator. Like, do some Senate shit. Like, that's why we all need to vote for Robbie Starbuck if you're in the Nashville area. Robbie Starbuck. So this is a guy, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I will. Excuse me. So Robbie's a guy who will stand up and will get arrested. And I've seen this dude in action. We were actually at a baby shower together. And he was talking about a parallel economy. This goes back to Netflix, where we literally have it where we don't do business with woke companies, but we do business-based companies. And so that way, if, let's say, a company supports a vaccine mandate, we're able to say, hey, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not doing business with you, but here's an alternative. For example, someone's like, dude, your shipping shits all over Amazon today for About Tiger Fitness.
It does.
And I'm like, why are you shopping with Amazon? You're ordering supplements. Don't order it from them. Yeah, they carry our stuff, but like, if we have better service, we're not trying to ruin the world like Jeff Bezos. Like, why would you not shop with us for nutritional supplements? And shipping is free. So it's like, so you get it in 1 to 2 days, like Amazon. Amazon Prime, dude, I ordered something Amazon Prime the other day. It took a week and a half to get here. Like, Amazon Prime ain't Amazon Prime.
No,
it ain't.
Absolutely not.
So the bottom line is we need to form a parallel economy and support those when we can who aren't like them. And that means, look, not shopping with bodybuilding.com. They're a large corporation who I guarantee isn't fighting for the people. That means going with people who are love freedom and love everybody. Look, man, the only people I will not have a conversation with, if you like vaccines, I'm great. If you like wearing your mask, I don't care. But if you want to force me to get a vaccine, I hate you. There's a difference. There's a line in the sand. I don't care if somebody gets it. I don't care if somebody wears a mask. I don't care if somebody locks down. When you start telling me what to do, that's when I can say that. And someone's like, oh, you say that, but I'm not. I remember I was on a live on YouTube on my channel. Like, I just bought a ton of stuff from Tiger Fitness. He was like, you need to take the vaccine. You should be mandated. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want your business. I'm like, I'll live without you. I just don't, we'll never have anything in common. And if you can't accept my beliefs, then do what you need to do. Go shop with Bezos. The
only time I get really like, do what you want to do. My thing is, if you're masking your kids and you're giving your kids the flu jab, the Mexican beer flu jab, I wonder about your competency of parenthood. Like I take, you know, I met my son when he was like 5, and it was like such a life-changing moment for me, you know, like where I take it being like, it's super serious. Like I would, you know, there's not, I oftentimes talk like if my wife or my son needed a heart transplant, they can have mine. Like right now, fucking, you know, tell me the best way to make it so it preserves my heart or my kidneys or whatever they need, and I'm doing it, you know? And I just don't understand how we've gotten to a society so afraid of like elderly people and people that have just fucking gluttoned themselves into ill health. We've gotten to the point where their lives are more important than the future of children. Like, here's my thing. Even if it's like a chance, even if there was a chance this could fuck children up, which there's humongous chance, right? But even if there was just a chance that this shit could fuck people up, and I'm talking not just the jab, I'm talking lockdowns, masks, everything like that. Like societally, if it could hurt children, we shouldn't fucking do it. Like, I mean, it's like society is about raising up the next generation, and we've become such, like, that's why I think the split's already happened. Me and you talk offline about this all the time, but like the splits already happened. It happened years ago. It happened the second that people were able to say this guy's not my president. And this is no shit. This happened years ago when people were starting to say Obama's not my president, because as soon as you fucking start down that road, like people deviated from the path. We were all like, okay, this person got elected. I didn't like it, but we're still going to stay on the same road. The second we started like a few people venturing off a little bit into saying Obama's not my president, that road just is going to get wider until it's like a completely different fucking segment, you know?
What? I fucking miss Obama right now. Jeez. I'll fucking give my left nut for that guy to be in office right now. I mean, it was all right. Other than the healthcare just completely screwing my company, it was all right. It was, and when
nothing changed, that's why he did nothing.
When H1N1 hit, nothing happened. He's like,
oh, good point.
Testing. He's like, we're done. Now
that's a good point.
Now it's Bill Gates calling the shots. It's just terrible. But
which is why I'm pissed that people are so behind Trump still too. Like, Trump was the fucking president of the United States when this happened. He should have been like, all of you, shut the fuck up. I mean, like, so we can mandate every other motherfucking thing, but this ridiculous bullshit of we're going to silence actual professionals. There should have been a huge meeting, like Trump or whoever should have gotten all these people together in one fucking room, all the scientists, put a fucking camera on them, and let's have them talk ad nauseum about all the fucking data, you know?
Here's the problem. I think Trump's in on it. That dude voted Democrat his whole fucking life. You're telling me that all of a sudden he became America? Come on, dude. Dude, did he get into office and not fire Fauci and say that he is a plant? I think that's it. I'm just spitballing right now. But think about it. The dude voted Democrat life.
Either that or, dude, people think that they're going to cancel Trump, right? Trump's rich enough where he's going to make it. All Trump needs to be is super popular and have a super serious base. And if he comes up with his own version of Twitter and his own version of YouTube and his own version of Google, he is as powerful as all of them combined. You know what I mean? Like, that's all he needs. Like, he could make out, and I still believe, like, at one point in time, he was talking about his own social media stuff. And trust me, I'm going to be on that shit because I'm going to go where people are going to let me speak. But at the same time, I truly believe, like, he is going to make out from this really fucking well. Now, I do think it's because, you know, he is an egotist and wants to be seen as like the best president, like American president ever. but it's also about power and control. These people are billionaires. They're billionaires. That's the actual issue. That's why I like Robbie Starbuck. Like, I mean, the guy you were talking, the guy you were talking earlier.
Normal dude.
He's a normal dude. He's a normal dude. We need to elect a lot of normal dudes.
Like
and women, and dudes and dudettes, and whatever else you want to fucking claim. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, where I look at it and we need a government of the people, but people like me won't run for office because, man, I can't handle it. Like, I can't handle the smoke, and Robbie can. He loves it. He enjoys it, and he thrives on the negativity they throw at him, and just makes him more enthusiastic to get at it. And he's the guy we need in office. People like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so it's question from Greg. I like this one. Would either of you go on Alex Jones's show? I'll go on, dude. That'd be awesome. You know, how much
I'll go anywhere.
You know how much that would grow our brand? Like that.
I'll go anywhere.
That'd be awesome. I would be Alex Jones's trainer and get him unfat because he used to be jacked. Do you see his bodybuilding pictures?
Yeah. What you know they have supplements, right?
Oh yeah,
like InfoWars supplements.
And people buy them, even though he looks like. I'm like, dude, Alex, I don't know if you're the guy. Get a spokesperson, but I guess he has enough of a following. People just buy it to support him. It is what it is.
To answer his question, I'd go anywhere. I mean, here's my thing. I truly believe in what I say enough, and I believe my knowledge base is enough. Like, first of all, I'm not admit to say I don't know enough about that shit. I mean, I say it almost every day. I don't know enough about that. I can't speak on it. But if I know about it, I will fucking speak about it to fucking anybody and hang. You know, I said it in a tweet. Like, I could destroy Rachelle Levine, our new commissar of fucking health or whatever the fuck they named her. I could destroy her about the Mexican beer flu with the notes on my phone, given 5 minutes notice in under 30 minutes. I would make it so it would be indefinable. Like it would be completely definable that I have destroyed that person in debate. I mean, easily. You know, I would go anywhere and talk to anybody about the shit I talk about.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing now is, I think we're starting to see who actually has America's best interest in mind, and that's where I'm looking, and I'm like, holy shit, In-N-Out Burger. Like, In-N-Out Burger's like, nah, you can shut us down, whatever. Like, dude,
swinging the big nuts.
Well, In-N-Out, when I was a kid, that was the best place to work. They had the highest pay of any fast food place in California, and they had the highest quality food, and they were just a beast. And to see them standing up, people don't realize, like, they're a conservative company who donates to the Republican Party, and they're not hurting for money. If you've ever been to California, doesn't matter which In-N-Out you're in front of, there's a line down the road. In-N-Out crushes it. If you're there at lunchtime, they better have a cop directing traffic. Like, it's that strong of a brand, and they have a really good product. So I think that a company like that standing up and saying, nah, we're not budging. You know, that's where we're in a situation where I think we're getting somewhere. And the fact that workers are speaking up, and the fact that this shot is really failing in the most horrible, miserable way.
It's undeniable too. Like, there's not grounds for it. Like, if it gave immunity, and I'll refer back to what I just said a couple minutes ago. Even if there was a question of what we were doing was bad for children, once a question is brought up, we should just fucking say fuck it. But it is just in the data so sketchy as fuck. Yet people are still like, oh, they said we need a new booster. Based on what? You're not going to ask what? You're not going to ask why they're telling you that you need another one? Like, they told you to. Literally, the president, quote unquote, of the United States is on video saying, if you get this Mexican beer flu hangover cure, you are not going to get the Mexican beer flu or be able to spread the Mexican beer flu. Months ago, just a few months ago. Like, and now, not only can you get it, spread it, you need a booster to try to fucking help you. And we know, like, if I know more people, way more people, and there's a reason why, but I know way more people that have been negatively affected by the Mexican beer flu jab than the Mexican beer flu. Now, part of that is because, to a great degree, the people that passed away from the Mexican beer flu were ancient as fuck. More people over 85 have passed away than under 45. Okay. And that's just facts and data. You can look it the fuck up. It's fine. But more people over 85 have passed away than under 45. So therefore, I don't know that many 85-year-olds. And frankly, the only people that are close to that I know are my family, my parents, But I know a lot of fucking people under 45 that are having lots of fucking problems with the fucking jab. Lots.
I think old people like my business partner's parents got it. They're fine. They're 80, but what I'm seeing happening to young people, and even if it's one, it's two, like whatever happened if we could just save one life. We have professional NBA basketball players who are not just athletes. They are the elite of the elite of the elite, having to end their season and or career from blood clots or myocarditis or pericarditis. I have friends who are directly from the beer shot, who are it's directly implicated in their, in that. So that's the crazy thing.
Do you know if any professional sports star had to end their career or season from the Mexican beer flu?
No,
I don't think there is.
No, because they literally got what I got. They're probably sore for a couple hours. They took some vitamins and supplements, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I feel great."
And I don't watch sports, but from what I understand, they just put them on injury reserve. Like they were so sure that they'd be fine that they just put them on injury reserve.
What I loved about when the athletes were getting it is they weren't like, "Man, we hope he survives." Like, he's out for 10 days. Like they knew exactly when he'd be back. They had no symptoms. Like, I think it was a quarterback for like Clemson or something during the 2020. Like, he'll be back in next week. It's like, aren't you afraid he's going to die? Like, this thing's the greatest pandemic of all time.
The thing you got up here right now, they said that cases would hit 1 million in the UK over winter. Think someone can't use a calculator. I know more people that are sick from the jab than the beer. The thing is, cases, and here's the thing that bothers me, because this is also pandemic response 101 that we should have had. We should hope that the cases get to be fucking like in America. You know what the case number would be in America that would be really, really good? Hundreds of millions. We should want everybody to have this shit. If we would have, and I say this with every fucking fiber of my being, because it's what I said at the beginning, and what I said at the beginning was 100% correct. If we would have focused on helping to isolate the elderly and high risk, people that had cancer going on, people that had that sort of shit going on, if we would have paid nursing home employees to live and breathe at the nursing home 24/7 for 2 months, and then encouraged every young person, everybody under the age of 50, to go out and socialize, party, and get the Mexican beer flu at the very fucking beginning, this shit, we would have been at herd immunity by the fucking end of summer, and this shit would have been over. They did not want to do that. So what they did is to slow the spread. You do not want to slow the fucking spread of shit. The peak had already reached. Farr's Law, look at the fuck up, you dumb motherfuckers. Farr's Law was already in effect. The peak had already been reached. And hospitals were not in fucking jeopardy. They were not in fucking jeopardy. We were laying people off all fucking summer in the first fucking year. So we were not in jeopardy. And no shit, even if we were, look what the fuck's happening now. But if we would have fucking made sure we got everybody we could to get natural immunity, which does stop infection and transmission, it reduces the R. That we need the R to be reduced. That was the big thing. Remember everyone hear about the R, where it's the infection rate that's going on. We needed to reduce it. Slowing it down does nothing. It just draws it out. It allows it to go in the population longer. And now to introduce a jab that makes it harder to be symptomatic, but still allows you to transmit. We've created, we went from lying about asymptomatic spread being a fucking thing, an actual real thing. It's never been a fucking thing before, right? So we lied about it to make sure everybody was terrified. Like your kid could get you sick. They could kill grandma, even though they're asymptomatic. They could have it and not know it. Like if you have it and not know it, chances are you're not symptomatic. Therefore, you're not fucking spreading it. That's just reality. But now we've created it so people could be symptomatic, but the fucking Mexican beer flu jab prevents them from knowing they're symptomatic. So they are actual super spreaders now. They're spreading it without fucking knowing. So we went from asymptomatic spread is an actual thing to creating people that spread asymptomatically. They're not even asymptomatic. They would be symptomatic if it wasn't for the jab, but now they're spreading asymptomatically. Now we have something that we are propagating that we can still spread around. It's going to create more variants. That's what fucking happens, you dumb fucks. I mean, it is so crazy that all of this could have been over in months, just months.
Have you seen the super cold?
Oh God, you mean the regular cold and that's bad because people hid themselves away for a year and a half? Yes.
I think it's a combo. I think they hid themselves, and I do think the spike protein. I think the spike protein minimizes your immune system response.
I agree.
And there's science points to that. It just does. Now, there's no conclusive study, obviously. But
they don't want to study on that shit.
I love when
that would be like doing a study on something on a $5 cure that could cure diabetes. They're never going to do that shit.
I pressed this asshole 4 times, and I'm like, he's like, oh well, if you're 11 times more likely if you don't have the vaccine. I'm like, where did this number come from? Why 11 times? They're just making shit up based on well, this is how it was in one city in Maine. It's like, okay, so you're just cherry picking fucking geographies when you could go with Florida, who has the lowest cases in the country right now.
Because we intermingle. That's why.
It's like a massive orgy in Florida all the time.
Dude, it was so weird for the wife and I to wake up this morning and look at the news and read the In-N-Out Burger thing, right? And we're reading the In-N-Out Burger thing like, so they have to fucking show an ID and a fucking Vax passport to get into a fast food place. I have not thought about pulling my, like, I barely wear shoes, people. Like, I mean, like a lot of the places I go to, I don't even wear shoes, you know, like, I mean, I'm a true Florida man. Like, I mean, a lot of the bars I go to, I sit outside and I don't even wear shoes, you know?
It's beautiful out Tennessee. So our schools have a mask mandate because there was one stupid lawsuit that a stupid federal judge who was appointed by Obama, he wrote. So he basically said, okay, so your anti-mask mandate opt-out thing is gone. But here's the beautiful thing. So I go to my son's wrestling meet, right? It's at another school, still Williamson County. And I walk in, he's like, hey, sir, can you put a mask on before you go? And I'm like, health exempt. She's like, cool, bro, enjoy the show. I'm like, awesome. So, I mean, we actually like HIPAA out here. And I'm like, no, I have health exemption. And I actually should, based on genetic things. And that's none of anybody's business. But my daughter and my kids have one because of it. And I'm like, no, sorry. And my son said, yeah, they told me to put on a mask. I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know, so, I mean, we're in a state where, and Florida has some areas too. We had literally complete freedom, but one kid's parents, like 3 kids, and they were immune compromised, sued. So every kid can suffer because they think masks work. So now
that's 2020.
Why are we affecting 99.99% for the 0.01%? Their asses should stay home. And why the fuck did my camera just go crazy on me?
I don't know.
It just jumped. Fuck it, we're gonna be crooked. But it just jumped. But it was insane. Like, it was absolutely insane to watch this part play out. And we actually had a good situation where the parents went and they fought it. Like, we fought it. We were on national news for threatening to go find school members or school board members at their house. And everybody's mad at it. I'm like, look, dude, we're done playing nice. Like,
yeah, it's time. Nice is over.
These guys are friggin', you know, what they're doing is they're putting our kids, they're abusing our kids by putting masks on them. That's child abuse. And that's not something we stand for. And the parent who said that, I'm not sure who it was, but I want to buy that man a beer. You know what? I want to buy him a beer. Because
absolutely
the right thing. Because it's not where I'm done playing nice. We got
that's the thing.
Nobody
have to get there.
BLM is where they were because they got violent. They started burning shit down. You can't. That's not the way. Really, it isn't. Everybody in the NBA was wearing fucking BLM on their shirt. They didn't do that until they started burning down buildings. Oh, it doesn't get attention. Really? If I say the word BLM in a fucking negative context, I'm a racist. Like, you're telling me that doesn't get results? It does. So look, sometimes you just have to get, like, we can't play nice because they don't. We're fighting fucking a gunfight with knives.
Yep. They're able to. Well, that's a perfect analogy because they're able to say shit from very far away and somehow it has impact. You know, like, and we're trying to be like, stop it. No, fuck that shit. You know what? I'm not allowed. My words hurt you. you better buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm about to I could get really fucking nasty.
Honestly, like we can't continue to let them get dirty. Like these guys are online. I wish you were dead. It's like, fuck it. I want you to die too, asshole. I don't care. I hope your whole fucking family dies. If you wish I'm dead, fine. I want you to die too. Like, why? How are we gonna like? Oh, you're bigger than that. No, I'm not. They just wished me dead. Fuck you. I want you to die too. Like, why can they play dirty and we can't?
Well, that's the big thing. When people are like the last couple of death threats I get, especially the one on Instagram, I call the person. Like, you know how you can video call the person?
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, I fucking call. Yeah, I'll call the person.
Oh, that's awesome. How'd that go?
They're like, I don't want to talk right now. Okay,
like
that's the thing, man. Like I feel for some of these people because the internet has lied to their ass. Like
it's beyond the internet. It's the news. Like, these are the sources of news. Like CNN is where, when I was a kid, it's where we got the fucking news. Like you trusted CNN. You trusted these news networks. You trusted Walter Cronkite. You trusted these guys. You trusted them. And now they've become an arm. And their whole focus is to ruin you. And their whole focus is to brainwash you.
Absolutely.
So it's not, we can't continue to be quiet. We can't continue to be polite because they're not. And that's why I'm like, well, you're a racist. Fine. I'm a fucking Jewish Nazi. Don't care. You know, it's like, we're done. Like we gotta we gotta fight fire with fire. That's the thing. Like they already, they're like, oh, I hope you die of COVID. Well, bitch, I already beat it. You know, it's like too late. I'm too healthy, too young. But
that's another thing too. We're still acting like this is some plague. I've been posting about that all week too. Like you guys are, the whole premise behind this shit is just a weak ass fucking. I'm sorry, people, but it was a bad cold last year. It's a weaker version now. It is. I mean, it's weaker. Like variants are weaker. Like, and I understand that like people are still freaked out and my grandma and this and that, blah blah blah. People, that just sounds like a you problem because it's still, there has never been a justification for any of this to begin with. The freak out is what fucking happened.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing I can do to prevent your grandma from dying. Like me staying inside isn't going to prevent grandma from dying. Your grandma staying inside will prevent her from dying. So if you want to isolate her, give her an N95 mask and do that. It's not on me to protect your grandma. Me going out and paying my bills and earning a living and watching my kids play sports, that's not killing your grandma. Okay, that's me living my life. If you need to isolate, like cancer patients have been doing forever who are immune compromised, if you need to isolate, then you need to isolate. But put it on the 99.99% who are not affected by this to protect the 0.001%. We can simply tell the 0.001% to, hey, hunker down, bro. Which one do you think's more fair?
Exactly. Hey, I mean, by the way, we're on over an hour, and I hate to do this, but we got business.
Yeah, we got to work. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching.
I hate to cut off so quickly, but I just realized, like, holy fuck.
Well, if you want the audio version, this is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We also have, of course, this YouTube channel, and we'll be back at least within a week. We'll have a date, and we'll announce it on Twitter. We'll be good to go.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys, but I do. I have a client I gotta get to.
Yeah, we got stuff for you guys. Hey, have a good rest of your day, man. Take care, guys.
Later on.